It's all about your legacy. And today, in our conversation with Ian Christelow, Master Licensee for ActionCOACH in the United Kingdom, he will share with us his story from humble beginnings to building one of the great franchise organizations in the country. So let's get to it. Ian Christelow, what do you feel are the top 3 skills that someone needs to have to be successful at franchising?
Yeah, I think the top 3 skills they need are communication, able to get across their points in an engaging way, and more importantly, listen well. I feel that obviously being able, the self-discipline to follow a proven system rather than, continually reinventing wheels and creating things that may or may not work. And self-discipline, really, to do the pound's productive activity.
That third one is really interesting because even though you're part of a franchise system and you're part of a group and a community, you still need to have that discipline to be able to get up in the morning and make those calls and do the deals that you need to do to do the dials that you need to do to actually bring in your clientele. No,
correct. Yeah, absolutely. It's it still needs working, doesn't it? Unless it's a purely investment franchise for the
And what actually made you choose this particular line of work? You have options. You have hamburger stores, pizza locations, and whatever. But what the service industry, specifically the business coaching sector, what made you steer in that direction?
Yeah, I mean, look, chance, fate, whatever you want to call it, destiny. At the time my idea was to build a helicopter pleasure flights business and fly stag and hen parties over the Blackpool Tower. And I was up in London doing some research for that business idea. And I happened to buy the London Evening Standard for the train journey home on the one day that Brad Sugars placed one advertisement for a general manager to build the UK and Ireland for Action International, as it was back then. I read it. I thought that the advert had my name on it. I applied along with 200 other people, turned up to a group interview, and based on my previous franchising experience, I managed to get the job. So I got the job, and I wasn't looking for a job. I thought it was just a stepping stone for a year or two before I started my own helicopter pleasure flights business. And but then obviously I saw how brilliant this was and wanted to get more involved, passionately wanted to get more involved. I know what it's like when a business owner loses their business through my dad and through personal experience of seeing that happen close up and what it did to our family. So I didn't feel like I had a choice once I saw everything at 10-day training, and made a decision to sell my house, cash in my life savings, sell my beloved convertible sports car, persuade my brother, who was even more deeply, I think, impacted by what happened to my dad, to invest the other half of the money that we needed to get started, and I started it. My brother kept his job. And away we went. I was literally living in the spare bedroom of my best friend's younger brother's house, and walking to a serviced office because I didn't have a car. So I went all in.
I had an interview earlier in the year with another master licensee, and what he used the word is an incredible word that you use, and you described it right now to the T. Is he says, used a quote by Julius Caesar saying, burn the boats. Uh-huh. Like when the troops came into a land to conquer, you better burn the boats because you can't turn back.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it probably helped, although it was it was a little bit nervy for 6 months. So, Yeah, but managed to just get through that period and start to be successful. So so delighted I did.
You mentioned is a prior experience in franchising. So did you have prior experience at the franchise industry?
I was one of 4 founding members who were given £1 million and 12 months to build something for the Pearson Group. We built their first ever franchise called Direct English, and part of the team that put that into 10 countries around the world over its first 4 years before it got sold to the Linguaphone Group without consulting with me as the business manager. So, I learned what it's really like to be like, what it's really like to be in corporate, and, your future is at the whim of, somebody else's decision. So, I was a bit heartbroken at the time and gutted, and really, really low on confidence when that happened to me. And, took me a year to get over that, really.
Would you feel that did help you to understand what franchising was
totally,
about and so forth?
I mean, more importantly, it helped me to get the job because Brad figured that I'd made most of my mistakes on somebody else's payroll. So he felt that out of the candidates, I was the safest bet. So, things happen for a reason. It didn't feel like it at the time when you're getting a visit from HR to be informed of the decision of the new chairman, who I'd never had a conversation with, that you're no longer a part of the future of the business that you're managing. It's interesting, but obviously delighted that happened now.
Well, yeah, because you have had great success, and at building your business. And is it because of the popularity of the white collar sector, or business coaching, or just hard work?
I think probably none of those. I would say the reason for our success is I recruited people who were better than me and took great care, not more so than the first hire. So I hired a business development manager called Sally Thorne to drive lead generation for the franchise in my territory and recruit people. And she was the best in the country by quite a long way. And because she was the best, inspired me really, because I didn't really have hands-on experience in marketing or selling. My experience was in finance. We did the best in East Anglia in the UK, and that enabled me to buy Yorkshire and Lincolnshire and the northeastern Cumbria, and then go on to partner with Julie Wagstaff to buy up the rest of the UK for buying those franchise rights for over £5 million.
Well, and speaking of pounds, what do you feel? I'm interested in the franchise. What do you feel are the top questions I should be asking a franchisor or a master licensee?
The top questions you should be asking? I don't know. It depends what you want to learn, really, doesn't it? I don't know. I don't know. Go on, you go. You got the questions. I'll answer them.
Because no, because I'm saying that the first question that usually I get is like, how much money can I make? And I think that's the wrong question to ask.
Completely. No? Yeah. What's your why for doing this? Would be a better question. If anybody Googles Ian Christelow is taking action and reads that, they'll get a very clear idea of my why. I think my why was bigger than most people's in the organisation.
Can you explain what you mean by what's your what?
Why rather than what? Just why you're doing it.
Okay.
What's your motivation? What do you want to achieve? Like why do you want to achieve that? What's your personal driver that makes it a non-negotiable to invest everything you've got in making sure the business is a success? That means that every waking hour you're thinking about this, and
And like you said, how much are you willing to sacrifice? Correct? Because you were living in spare bedroom, and just sold everything you had.
Yeah.
Look, most people would not do that.
Yeah, and look, we continually have sacrificed lots of things to make the UK bigger and better, and help more business owners achieve their goals and dreams for sure. So yeah, it's not a choice. It's what I'm here to do.
I hear too that some of the stories that we hear, not only about success in building people's lives or helping people's businesses, but also helping their lives, helping them change their lives.
Yeah, well, totally that, but also avoid the fate that happens when they lose their business. So, my dad lost his business, and the impact on our family was horrendous. So, yeah, the main breadwinner in the family suddenly got no money and no income. It's challenging. So it's not just helping people achieve their dreams; it's helping them to avoid the fate that happens to more than 9 out of 10 business owners. But you've been in Action Coach long enough, William, to know that doesn't happen on our business coaches watch. Not even in the pandemic, in the hospitality sector, does that happen to clients on our watch. It's incredible. What we get to do.
And the truth is that you also have. I notice a sense of community and how you actually help each other grow. And within the organization is something that is kind of interesting to see, because I've never seen that before. And if you're just flipping burgers, you're worried about how many burgers you're going to sell today, not how much your franchisee across town is doing. And I think that's a big difference there.
Yeah, I think we're very lucky, William, in terms of the business that our franchise at Action Coach is in, for two reasons. Number one, this business teaches business owners how to be successful. Now, all of our franchise partners are in their own business. All of our area developers, like me, are in their own business. The fact that we get coached and trained by people like Brad Sugars and Steve Leach, and the true greats of our game is massively, massively helpful. The second thing is, why do people become an Action Coach franchise partner or master licensee? Because they're passionate about helping other people succeed. So, I know for a fact that, if I contact any of our franchise partners in the UK and ask for help, they're going to want to give me help if they can, and it's going to be forthcoming. And to have that resource here in the UK and globally is a huge advantage to our area developers, our franchise partners, and probably most of all our clients, who are the biggest winners.
That is true. And, but even you, actually, you recently had a trip across the pond to the U.S. to help and build community with other members of the organization.
Yeah. Look, it's cool. I mean, I've massively benefited from others when I've travelled previously. When I needed the help, it's been there. I've been to, places like Australia and asked for help, and successful firm builders have helped me. And the opportunity to help other area developers who are serious about growing their business is irresistible. Just as it was for our UK performance director to help a firm builder in Nashville with their recent event. So that was a pleasure and an honour to be involved in that day. And very cool.
And it's, again, you're using the word a pleasure and an honor to go help someone, which is kind of like interesting. You have a mission in life, no, a purpose.
Yeah, got a purpose, got a purpose. So, actually, it's interesting. When we were, I'll share this with you because I think it's like one of the coolest things I've heard ever, not just this year, but ever. Um, we get to learn from some amazing gurus, as you know, in Action Coach, not just internally, externally as well. Um, we had the person who I consider to be the greatest marketer in the world, Donald Miller, speak at our UK BizX that we at Action Coach, my team, run brilliantly every year. And if you haven't been to that, look, come along. It's amazing. The people we get to learn from for 2 days, and the whole event is incredibly enjoyable and moves everybody forwards. But I got to meet Donald there. Got to chat with him. Found out that he was living in Nashville, and so I'm going out there. And he's like, well, swing by. So we did, and we did a BizX podcast with him, on his home estate, which was wonderful. He gave us a tour of that. But he said something on that BizX podcast, and I think it was in the podcast that I watched being filmed live. He said, when you die and you go up to the pearly gates and St. Peter and all of that, so there's going to be one of two scenarios. Either the big man's going to be pleased because you helped everybody you could, or he's going to be disappointed because you could have helped more people.
You gave you all your talents and you didn't use them, or didn't use them to full potential.
That's it. That's what why we're here for this short time of whatever we get. Somewhere between a day and 110 years or whatever it is. But yeah.
And I'm sure that I'm sure you had clients from, day one when you first started and just started stumbling through the system and the process, that today may look back at you and say, if it wasn't for you, Ian, my life would have been a lot better, a lot different.
Yeah, maybe some say that as well, William, what you just said there. But
no, I used the wrong word.
But there's also some that, are eternally grateful for the little interactions that, you help them along the way, and quite often you don't even remember those interactions, but they do, and it made a difference, and that's what we're here for, right?
I was recently talking to someone in Brazil, and he's in a gentleman that has grown a franchise system throughout the country, of stores, actual stores. And I said, what are you interested in Action Coach, and why are you interested in becoming part of the organization? He says, because when me and my two partners first started 10 years ago, the coach here at Action Coach locally in Sao Paulo helped us save our business and expand our business and grow our business. And this was 10 years ago. And now he's looking and says, I want to now help other businesses grow their businesses, the small businesses grow their businesses. And it's kind of contagious, no?
Yeah, absolutely. It is. And, I know that 1,200 people at Green King wouldn't have a job if it wasn't our first client in East Anglia. But it's also kind of interesting because, we only coached and trained Green King for a couple of years. And it was, we turned that business around from one that was bleeding cash and was going to lose everything and be the next brewery that closed their brewery gates and 1,200 people lose their jobs, to a business that became one of the most successful in its sector and went on an acquisition trail. But, I visited that business and did the tour of the brewery with a bunch of friends fairly recently. And we should never have stopped working with them because, the tour guide told me that they were losing money on beer again. And I could see why going around the brewery. I could see why that was happening. So, they're in danger again. So, the lesson there is never stop working with Action Coach. always have those eyes on the business. You'll never take the risk of that slippery slope to oblivion. It's kind of fascinating. One of Brad Shiggers' first books was a book called Action Speaks Louder Than Words, and but from memory it's out of print now, but I think it was 20 chapters of his first 20 clients, and telling the story of how he coached them for a couple of years, and to great success. And we used to give it to people in due diligence, and a few years into being an area developer in the UK, we had a really good candidate to be a franchise partner with ActionCOACH, and they dropped me an email and said, I'm out of this because I can't remember what the number was. From memory, I'm thinking it might have been eight of those businesses have gone bust. So I forwarded it to Brad Shiggers, and he said, look, I'm surprised it's only, let's say it was 8. He said, I'm surprised it's only 8. I haven't worked with these guys for 9 years. I'm surprised it's only 8. We didn't know back then that it had to be a lifetime relationship. We do now. So, clients, if you're listening, coaches, if you're listening, don't ever stop.
Well, you get into a comfort level, and then what happens is you start taking the eye off the ball, and then all of a sudden things go back to the way they were. Yeah,
absolutely. Look, it's the second law, isn't it? Of is it thermodynamics that grow or die?
Yeah, grow or die.
I'm not the best to talk through that. Brad Shiggers would be one of the best people that's still alive today to talk you through that. But yeah, you look at the tree outside, and it's either growing or it's dying. It's impossible to stay still, and I think that's true with relationships, and I think it's true with business, and I think complacency kills relationships and business and allows them to go into a period of decline that can be fatal. So on my watch, I'm always pushing my team to do whatever it takes to get or keep the business in growth mode.
And keep the relationship, because it's all about people. It's all about people, really.
Definitely, yeah.
Ian Christelow, I really appreciate the time today, and wish you the best in your future going forward. And I know you have a tight schedule, so I really, really sincerely appreciate your time.
My pleasure. Absolutely. Okay, great stuff, William. Thank you. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much. Great. Thanks for joining us today, and hope you have gained some valuable insights into the world of franchising. My name is William Lesante, and I would like to invite you to the next episode of the Franchise Coach podcast. Please make sure to like and subscribe and share with your network. Also, click the link below to learn more about franchising with ActionCOACH. Thank you.